Hey guys, Michael Brown here again from michaelsbrown.com, and today I'm just putting together a nice little quick tutorial on how to write a good blog post. And the way I'm going to demonstrate this is I'm actually going to walk you through a recent blog post that I created using the same method. Now, the first thing that's important to understand is when you go to do this, it doesn't matter how popular your blog already is. It doesn't matter how much traffic you're currently getting. These kind of things will help make your blog better. It will increase your traffic from wherever you're getting your traffic from because you're going to be creating stuff people want to actually read. And the way this all came about is I typically get questions from students of mine who are involved in some of my courses. They'll ask me things like, hey, how much writing should I do for each post? Or is only doing 300 words on a post okay? Or can I just write 300 words and get away with that and rank in the search engines and all of that? And the thing I always say to that is, number one, write as much as you need to write to get your point across in the blog post. So whether you're trying to entertain people or whether you're trying to teach people something or demonstrate something, make sure that the writing that you do demonstrates or gets your point across to your audience. So if it only takes 300 words to do that, that's fine. If it takes 150 words to do that, that's fine. Some of my posts take 2,000 or 3,000 words to get my point across and to make sure that the person who's reading it fully understands what I'm teaching. So yours don't have to be 2,000 or 3,000 words, but if it takes that much, do it, okay? Make sure you're doing what you have to do. Always write for the for people first and the search engine second. You'll have better results that way, and the search engines will still pick up what you're doing and like what you're doing. So let's go through this because I want to try to make this video brief for you so you don't have to sit through an hour-long lecture, because I could honestly talk about this subject for hours. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is make sure, and I'll also go right through my post here, make sure you research your topic. Know what you're talking about. Know what you're writing about. Use sources like Wikipedia, WikiHow if you want. But remember, those are good sources, but a lot of other people are using them. Don't forget about stuff like using the library or using your own knowledge. If you're in a niche market like a hobby or something you already know a lot about, you might not even need to do any additional research because you already have all that knowledge for you. Just make sure everything you're doing is ethical and truthful. Now, this part I absolutely love, and this I started probably about a year and a half ago. I started using this method, and it's really helped make my blog posts so much better. I look back at some of my old writing, and I almost cringe at some of it because it's not very good. But now, for over a year and a half, I've been shifting to using this method, and it's really, really helping. And what I do is from either my notes or from the knowledge in my head, just things that I know, I'll create an outline. And I like to use SkyDrive now, which is free. It's a Microsoft free thing on Microsoft, and I'll show you a quick example of this. Okay, this is SkyDrive. You can log in and you can write documents and things like that. And I also recommend if you don't like using Microsoft products and you want to use Google, you can use Google Drive. It used to be Google Docs, and now it's Google Drive. So you can do that as well. You can just use that if you don't have like Microsoft Word or whatever, or another program. But what I like to do is I just create a simple outline. I make sure to bold my main topics, like the section topics that I want to discuss, and then the bullet points I put underneath just reinforce whatever the outline topic is. Okay, so I'll put together an entire outline before I even write the post. And what this does is it lets me collect my thoughts. It lets me make sure that what I'm writing about is completely accurate and I'm not leaving anything out. Because if you just freelance write, where you just basically go into your dashboard and to create a new post and you just start typing, you never know exactly what you're going to get. And sometimes you can make a great post that way. Other times you're you're going to be kind of off base and you need to really rethink what you're doing. Creating an outline lets you basically sort everything out before you even start your writing. And I know a lot of you probably remember doing stuff like this in school, and you might even still be in school right now and you're watching this. But those those things they used to make us do where we'd write outlines before we would actually create our our rough drafts and then our final drafts, they actually turn out to be a good thing to do. They get your thoughts down on paper to make it easier. So make sure you create an outline that you can use. And at first you won't have a title, but just list what your topic is and go off your topic. Start listing down the things in order that makes sense. So if you're teaching, if it's educational, list it in order that you need to teach it in. If it's something that's entertaining, list it in the logical order that makes sense for your reader. Okay, so use that, and at my blog, and I'll put this below the video, you can actually read through this entire post and see how I've done it and how I used the outline to actually structure my entire post. What I like to do before I actually put my post out, before I even start working on creating the post, I use images a lot of times in various different posts. And I like to gather those before I actually start writing. And the reason I do that is because all the thoughts for the images I want are already fresh in my head. They're already there. I know kind of like what I want to go with each lesson or each step. And again, this works in any niche market. So even if you're not listing in steps, or if you're not listing in like in order where you need to have things structured in a certain way, that's okay too. You can still get your images ready before this. And the great thing about images, you can take those images, you can share them on Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Google+, get them out there in front of people, and guess what? You're going to get extra traffic from that. Extra traffic. And I just use Snagit for my images to, like if I need to put any illustrations on them. And if you don't have Snagit, you can use Pixlr or something like that, or GIMP. I know people use GIMP on their computer. And I grab stock photos from Fotilia and iStock Photo. So they're easy to use, and they're great resources and cheap to use. And then what I do is I actually create the post from the outline. So I'll take my outline and I'll use the section headers to basically section it off. Like for instance, I'll just show you a little example on here. On step 4, create your blog post from the outline. Well, let's go in here to my outline and create, here it is, create post using outline. And then each of these will be a new sentence or new paragraph that I can then write about inside of my post. Okay? Makes it very simple to do. Okay, some other things after you get done writing your post, spelling and grammar check. Okay, I'm terrible. I'll be honest, I have a lot of typos. I have to fix them. If you read my blog, you'll probably find some typos still, even after I fix them. But the good news is you can get rid of most of them. You can fix a lot of your grammar issues as well. And I'll have people who come to my blog and who will always find a grammar issue somewhere. And that's okay. You know, we're not journalists. We're not writing to win a Nobel Prize here. You want to still make a good or a great blog post that's readable for your audience. So when you're doing this, don't panic if you have a grammar or issue or a misspelling. It's going to happen. You know, it happens to the best of us. But you know, that's not why we're in this. So if you do have some grammar issues, don't worry about it. Don't start sweating and panicking that, you know, you made a typo and someone called you out on it. It's fine. Okay. What I like to do last, after I get my blog post created, I will create a blog post title. And the title is something that should catch your reader's attention, and it should be unique. Now, what I mean by that is it's easy. You could simply write something on your blog. You could write a post about basically anything, and you could take just the keywords that you're trying to rank for in the search engines and put that as your title. Okay, but anybody can do that. So what I suggest you do is learn how to write some headlines, structure some better looking headlines that still have your keywords in there, so you're not missing out on the search engines, but that also kind of give your reader a new perspective. And inside my post, I actually the way I explain that is I could have easily written this post just using the keywords in my title, and I could have used something like just how to write a good blog post. But what I did is I turned it into how to write a good blog post with these 5 simple tips, because after I got done writing this post, I realized I'm like, oh, I have 5 tips to follow, or 5 steps for the reader to follow. So I can take this and I can actually play off of that and make a better sounding headline that gets someone's attention more. Because now I'm telling them, hey, I'm going to teach you this, and I'm going to do it in 5 simple tips. And I could have said steps. I could put steps as well. But I just decided to use tips instead. It's just what I wanted to do. And what I like to do is, if I'm struggling for a headline, if I can't figure one out, there's a couple websites. There's actually several. There's so many good headline writers out there. But I like to go to like The Fool, which is the Motley Fool. It's a stock tip and stock trading advice. And even if you're not into stock tips and stock trading and things like that, you can go on here and you can find some really, really great headlines just by going through the blog here and looking at all their different things that are going on. They actually even have a headlines area right up the top, where you can go through and look at different headlines that they're writing here and see how they look for you. So I'm not going to read through these, but it's basically, if you go through, you can look at their different headlines and find some that are really great. The other thing to do is sign up for their email list, because they actually use great headlines in their emails. So even if you're not into stocks and things like that, the headlines alone are worth the learning that you can get out of it. So I highly suggest doing that. They're awesome. The other place that I like, and I'll go back to my blog here, is Gawker. They have some really, really creative, funny headlines too. So if you've never been to that site, I'll go over here, and you can find different headlines. And whether you agree with the stuff they write about or not, they still have some pretty funny, some pretty fun headlines. They also have serious stuff on here, as you can see, but they do have some fun headlines where they play with words. And it's nice to just get a little more education on writing a good headline. You don't have to be a copywriter, but kind of play with your headlines a little bit so you can start being a little more creative, and you're going to stand out. So that way you don't look like all the other sites out there who are writing about the same thing, because there's always going to be people writing about the same topic you are. You just have to be a little bit different. Okay, so, and then finally what you want to do is, after you create your headline, you get all that done, put your images into your post, you can optionally add video. And I'm actually going to add this video to my post when I'm done here. So you can take a video, you can put it up on YouTube, you can then just simply embed it into your website. So right into your blog post, right from YouTube. And this will not only save you on bandwidth, it will also get you more traffic from the video sites. And then you can share this video on all kinds of other video networks. You can share it on Facebook, on Pinterest, on Twitter. And it's going to get you more attention, more traffic, and people like video. We love images and we love video. We look at them, they get our attention, and it breaks up all the text that's all over the screen. Because usually, we'll come to a blog post, and if there's 2,000 words and it's just straight text all the way through, you're going to get to a point where you're like, okay, that's hard to read, especially if you're on a mobile device. It gets a little bit harder to read. So, break up not only break up your sentences like I do here to make it easier to read, and so I don't use a typical paragraph structure. I break it up into 2 or 3 sentences at a time, but also put those videos in to kind of, segregate parts of your content out. So it's just another way that you can do it. Videos are optional, but video does add, I don't put in like videos of like kittens playing, just to break up your text. Make sure it makes sense to your topic. And the other cool thing is with YouTube is if you're writing a post that sounds really great and you're like, this would be better with a video, and you don't want to shoot the video yourself. Well, the other nice thing with YouTube is you can embed other people's videos. A lot of people will just allow you to embed their videos. I allow people to embed my videos onto their websites, and most people on YouTube allow embedding because, hey, we all want to share our videos more. It gets us more publicity, and it will save other people time. Like I've used other people's videos in my own post, even on this blog. So if I find something, I'm like, hey, you know what? That's a really cool thing to share with my reader. I'm going to take that video and I'm going to put it onto my blog. And you'll find that your viewers will stay on longer. They will ingest your content more. They might comment more. They might contact you via email or Facebook more. And the more contact you have, the more sales you can make from your blog. If you're into sales, if you're not into making sales and you're just doing it for fun, more power to you. That's awesome, but you still want to grow your audience if you're doing it for fun. You want people to read your blog and see it. So use video to get more traffic in and use it to also add to the content that's on your site. Now, at my blog, I have additional teaching on keyword research. If you have no clue where to start looking for keywords for your blog post, I have all kinds of tutorials, and I'll show you here at the top. Under tutorials, you'll be able to see I've got different various tutorials, and I keep adding to this, and I also have all kinds of other stuff to read. Okay, so it's just if you're struggling to find a topic, if you're struggling to do a lot of things in blogging or even making money online, come over to michaelsbrown.com, check it out, and use this stuff. But what I challenge you to do, the last thing I want to say here, I ultimately just want to challenge you right now to write a better blog post. Write a better blog post. Write something that your audience will love. Write something that's unique and different than everyone else out there. And of course, if you also want to read the text format of this video and see exactly how I structured everything, I will put that link below this video because it's kind of a long link. So I don't want to have you try to type all that in. So anyway, I'm Michael Brown from michaelsbrown.com. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you take me up on the challenge to write a better blog post today, something your audience is going to love, and something that can stand out amongst the sea of niche bloggers, whatever your niche is out there. So again, thank you very much, and I will see you in another video.